Hi everyone, I'm David Forczyk and this is MBOT TV. Stories we covered this week: Mississauga says goodbye to an iconic community leader. Prominent businessman details how to be successful as a bad boy. MBOT members get ready for South Africa, and our weekly political update with Brad Butt, who has news on a municipal cannabis regulation, the Premier's comments on minimum wage, and provincial pre-budget consultations. Welcome to MBOT TV, a weekly recap of what happened in business at the Mississauga Board of Trade and around the city of Mississauga. Mississauga residents were stunned at the passing of Ward 1 Councillor Jim Tovey. Councillor Tovey was on his way home from a planning committee meeting last Monday when he had a heart attack. Councillor Tovey will be remembered for many of the lakefront projects he was working on and the inspiring presentation he gave to MBOT members at the 2016 annual general meeting on the Lakeview project. A private ceremony for family members will be held with a celebration of life to be announced at a later date. MBOT members met a real bad boy at Growth and Power. Blaine Lastman and his daughter Samantha were on hand to tell the story of resurrecting the Bad Boy brand and rebuilding the road to success for the iconic company. Blaine was candid with his comments and remembers why they decided to call the company Bad Boy.
That was the nicest name we could use from all the names that our competitors gave us. And it still stands.
MBOT members and guests are getting ready to go to South Africa this fall. Stay tuned for upcoming information sessions to be held right here at the Mississauga Board of Trade. Would you like to see your company advertised right here on MBOT TV, just like the Mississauga Steelheads? For information, email or call Sonia Oja at the Mississauga Board of Trade. And now, for our political update with Director of Government Relations, Brad Butt. Brad?
Well, thanks, David. Due to the passing of Councillor Jim Tovey last week, business at Mississauga City Hall was put on hold. Consideration of the hotel tax has been deferred, and both General Committee and Full Council will be held this Wednesday. City Council will receive the report, Mississauga Matters, on Wednesday, setting out Mississauga's priorities and issues for the June 7th provincial election. The document focuses on rapid transit, sustainable funding for infrastructure, affordable middle-class housing, and reducing administrative burdens on municipalities. The Region of Peel Council is receiving a letter from Finance Minister Charles Sousa at its meeting this week on the framework for the retail sale and distribution of cannabis, which acknowledges discussions that will take place about revenue sharing from the federal excise tax with provinces and municipalities. The MBOT Health and Wellness Committee recently approved a resolution to the Ontario Chamber of Commerce, calling on the province of Ontario to share 25% of its share of the revenue with cities to help them offset the costs of this new regime. While Premier Kathleen Wynne has again doubled down on the minimum wage issue, tweeting last week that she'd be happy to meet with any business owner about the minimum wage. So the Ontario Chamber of Commerce has issued an open letter asking businesses to contact the Premier directly about the impact of these changes and asking for offsets in the forthcoming provincial budget. So you can email her directly at premier@ontario.ca. Pre-budget consultations have begun for what will be the last provincial budget delivered before the June 7th provincial election. The Ontario Chamber of Commerce has developed Vote Prosperity and is asking the government to look at cost offsets resulting from Bill 148 to be included in the budget. The new president and CEO of the OCC, Rocco Rossi, presented before the Standing Committee on Finance and Economic Affairs last week, listing 11 recommendations for the budget, calling for the government to implement taxation reforms, and smart infrastructure and transportation spending to maximize growth and benefit for all the regions of Ontario. The Mississauga Board of Trade has been selected to participate in the Canadian Chamber of Commerce Climate Smart Chambers program as national carbon pricing becomes a reality across Canada. Many businesses will be looking for information on how this will impact their bottom line. The goal of this initiative is to provide Chambers SME member tools and training on how to reduce and measure their greenhouse gas emissions in a cost-effective way. We look forward to rolling this out shortly. Round 6 of NAFTA negotiations will be held this week in Montreal. While officials continue to meet in hopes of hammering out a new and modernized deal, pundits are still suggesting the president is likely to invoke the notice clause soon. Back to you, David.
Thanks, Brad. And here's what's coming up at your Mississauga Board of Trade. On January 25th, Good Evening Mississauga is hosted by Milestones Heartland. This after-hours social provides tasty snacks and a casual atmosphere to build great relationships. On February 6th, we honor our 2017 Chair Vivi White from RBC. This Who's Who event is a must-attend for Mississauga business leaders. Keynote speaker this year is new CEO of the Ontario Chamber of Commerce, Rocco Rossi. On February 7th, Membership Matters is at MBOT, a session for new members to discover all the benefits that your Mississauga Board of Trade has to offer. Seasoned members are always welcome to stop by for a refresher. On February 8th, a critical seminar on Bill 148, How Much Is It Going to Cost Your Business? A panel of experts break down Bill 148 and answer your questions about this sweeping legislation. On February 14th, Good Morning Mississauga celebrates Hazel McCallion Day at Sheridan College. Come out and wish former Mayor Hazel McCallion a happy birthday on her 97th year. Book a speaker spot. Where else can you make over 100 cold calls in just 2 minutes? Details about these stories and events are available at www.mbot.com. Until next week, this is David Wojcik, wishing you continued success in your business.